Hi, Jean.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna get us started right away, you guys, with PowerPoint, just to go through some stuff. I just do this so that I remember. Okay, October Performance Club. Yay! We already have some people, well, not already. Well, what day is it, guys? Tomorrow's the 15th already. It's already almost the middle of the month.
Is
And
this
it's November.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. Okay, November Performance Club. I'll change that. We have Kim Farniak, Laura Nowicki, and Dot Stark. So congratulations to you all for hitting Performance Club so far. Tomorrow night, this is for everybody, even if you just want to tune in and see how we're doing it. And I'm telling you, a lot of last minute invites can make a big difference. And I think a great invite right now, because everybody's in this stage of just wanting to just like relaunch in their mind, is just letting people know that you're relaunching your business so they show up to support you. That support invite goes a very long way. I'm relaunching my business. Would you just show up to support me? Even if you're a no, if I could just have a guest there, it would mean a lot to me. Okay. So this will be 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central. I'll be doing the business side of it, and Laura Nowicki's going to do the product side of it. And she does a phenomenal product presentation. So I'm really excited about that. I don't have her in this because we hadn't clarified at that time, but it will be the two of us tomorrow night. Just another reminder to please make sure you register for the Rock the Rhythm event. It is free. It's January 18th, and you do not want to miss this. I have no idea what's coming, but this is really going to set the tone for 2023 with LifeVantage. LVA is this weekend. I've got a slide for that. And don't forget to register for New Orleans as well. And then LVA is this Saturday, and it's Carrie Dickey, and that is going to be from 9 to 11. It'll be just 2 hours, so don't pay attention to this Inwood, Iowa. That's not for us. It's just a graphic that I found. But if you can get people together or get together with people locally, I highly suggest it, because it's just going to be phenomenal and a lot of fun to be together with people. A reminder that Daily Wellness is your subscriber reward this weekend, $10 this month. $10 off with your subscription or even with a spot order, and our fall Axio flavors. Don't forget that as well. Your app is going to be down. I gotta move my.
I think between
And
website, it was like,
I had to mute Dot.
$40, but then the like in the pits is like $400.
Okay, I got everybody. Okay, just a reminder that your app is going to be down on the 17th. They are giving it a facelift, and they're going to make it more like your replicated website, which I think is going to be so much fun. So if you are one of those people that use the app often and you send a cart from the app and you're not sure how to do it from your replicated website, please reach out to me and I will walk you through that process. And it's going to be down approximately until about the 21st, maybe a little longer, depending on how Apple and all the people work together with our app and it coming back. So if you're also someone that tracks your numbers, make sure that you track as much as you can before it goes down so that you're up to date on your numbers as well. Okay, where am I? Okay, Activation Nation. Michelle just talked about this, but this podcast, I listened to this one today with Brandon Cunningham. Back in the day, we used to get CDs that were shipped to you on a weekly basis. And I got so excited when those CDs came. And what they did is the company would take cuts from like our elite academies. So they would take like people that were on stage for a panel, they would take the speakers and they would break it out into CDs, and those would be sent to you. They're doing that now within our podcast, Activation Nation. This is a really beautiful way to stay plugged in. It's a great way for you to stay plugged in and also to continue to build your belief. You can find it on Spotify. Anywhere you can find podcasts, you're going to find Activation Nation. And I would just highly suggest starting to listen to these. They come out every Friday and very, very professionally and very well done. So, okay. And then just a reminder too, have this printed out. Have this printed out for you. I did post it in Team Act. If you would like it again, just text me and I'll email it to you directly so you can print it out. But these are your bubbles. This is our focus. This is where you want to go. This is what is going to move us forward and getting where we want to go and finding those people and penciling in who is your dream team. What does that look like? And have you reached out to them yet? And if you've reached out to them and there are no not yet, then erase them and put somebody else in there, or just keep piling the names into the bubble until you find that yes. Go for the no until you find that yes. And let's get you guys filling these bubbles and to that MVP bronze. Okay. Also this, I'm going to make this big so you can take a screenshot or take a picture of it. So I do this branding seminar on a monthly basis, and we had a 3-hour mastermind last week, and there were just a handful of us on there, and each one of us got to talk about like an issue that we were having or something that we wanted help with. And I told them that I felt like I wanted help with my profile on Instagram and on Facebook, that it just didn't resonate, and I just felt like it needed to be more impactful. And you know what they told me? Those things that we've heard before. I've heard this from Bob Heilig. We've heard this from other trainers, the I help statement, right? It's also what you would say if somebody asks you, what do you do? And all of them went to my Instagram profile while we were on this Zoom together. And get this, one of the gals on there, she is a customer of mine. She ordered the fall Axio flavor last year from me. And you know what she said to me? She goes, I don't even really know what you do. That's what she said. I was like, oh, this is bad. She said, I don't even really know what you do. And your profile doesn't tell me anything about that. And I think what I had on there before was like something more inspirational. Like I wanted people to believe in themselves, and I'm here to believe in you before you believe in yourself, something like that. But they all said, this does not tell me anything that you do. And then most of them also said, and some of them were in direct sales in other companies. Some of them are not. They're in other fields. So it's a great way to get feedback, right? And one of them said, I know that often in this industry, you guys are taught not to say exactly what you do or talk about the company that you're in. She's like, but I just hate that. She's like, just tell me what you do. And she also said that she thought it was important for me to put where I live, because people like to talk about geographically. They like to find someone either in their area or find someone that where that could be a topic of conversation, because then they can search for the area and then they can search for the company too if they want to find you. So if you were to go to my Instagram profile now, I changed it and I put my location and I put that I'm a leader in LifeVantage. And you can do the same thing, by the way. You do not have to say, you don't have to leave out the leader. You're all leaders, okay? And what I have now is I help women over 40 lift brain fog, sleep better, have more energy, feel better, and make money in the process. And then I put my location, Boise, Idaho, below that with my Linktree. And Linktree, we could do another training on that at another time too. But anyway, that's what I put. So I just wanted to share this statement with you guys, because this I got from a gal that does social media training. And this was her blueprint for I help statements. So hopefully that will help you as well. And if you're feeling stuck and you're not sure on this, reach out to me and maybe we can work through some ideas together. Okay. All right. Let me bring this back. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about is some people lately, and this is just an example, but we may come across this often in life in general. But because of our collagen, and now we have more things that people can try and taste, people have been out maybe doing shows or setting up booths or tables at different holiday events. And a couple of the gals I talked to last week, in doing it, they had information to give out to people, but they then had no way to follow up. So they were giving away information, hearing stories from people, hearing all this information, but then they had nothing to go on to follow up. And I want you to, as much as it negates why we're here to serve. I always want you to have in your head, if you are going to give, make sure you get first as far as their information. And that just comes from posture, right? Because imagine a situation where I'm talking to someone and they're telling me about some health struggles that they have. And imagine I say, well, here's some information, take a look at it. And if you want to, if you're interested in, I've got my QR code on there in my website and you can go there. Versus, I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. I have some really important information for you, but first, let me get your name and your number, because what you're going to see, you're probably going to have questions, and it's important I have a way to follow up with you, right? It's just posture. It's just you showing that you take it seriously, what you're about to give them. And they're going to do one of two things, right? They may be like, well, no, that I'm not interested. And you can be like, okay, that's okay. I wish you the best. And taking it away from them, they may be like, well, okay, right? Or they won't even think about it, and they'll just give you your name and their name and number, and you'll have a way to follow up with them. But it's always important. It's so much easier just to give the information away and not stretch ourselves and get a little bit uncomfortable and go that extra step. Just always make sure you have a way to get their information. And I think somebody said too in the chat, doing a drawing. Absolutely doing a drawing, or having a way to write their name down so that you have it that way as well. I've done that in the past when I've done those where I'll put their name down. If I've had a conversation with them, once they've left, I'll take notes and I'll put that by their name as well. So anyway, I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. Okay, this is a big lesson. Don't judge me here, but I'm using my lesson to teach you, and you're not going to believe that I did this, but as you grow and as we do our business, guess what I did? Okay. So it was like the 10th, was this weekend. It was Friday, I think, Thursday or Friday. I'm going in my back office and I'm checking to see what my check would be. And my first business center, it didn't show. So I'm like, that's just weird. And I was checking for a couple days and I thought, they just haven't done it yet. So finally I went to my other two business centers and the check amount showed. And I'm like, why would it not show in my first business center? And suddenly at 9:30 at night, it hit me like a Mack truck. And I started sweating and I got red and I freaked out. And guess what I did? I ordered a bottle of Omega that was on sale last month. The Omega is not 40 PV. It was 35 PV. If you do not have your own personal order of 40 PV, you will not receive a check. And I freaked out. I'm like sweating as I talk about it. And so typically when this happens, you guys, the first 3 days of the new month, when you catch things like that or catch errors, whether it's placing somebody, anything in your business, we can contact the LifeVantage leadership line and they can make that correction for you, right? They can do it pretty quickly. But we are now into almost payday, and I realize this. And so I text one of the leadership lines right away, and I'm like, I know I'm not going to hear from you. I'm like, but SOS, help, 411, all the things, I'm dying. And told them I'm having a heart attack. And lucky for me, they will make that correction for you once a year. And that is all. You can only make that mistake once a year. If you do it more than that, you are out of luck. So all that to say, it is like one of those simple little things that if we take this business seriously, which I do, but I just assumed because I've just always had a bottle of Protandim sitting there that goes out every single month. But Sean Poe said, after the 25th subscription goes out every month, he makes sure that orders have gone through and that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted, right? And why wouldn't we do that if we are building a business that we want to leave as a legacy and that we want to grow? So just make sure every month that your own personal order is at least 40 PV and that it has gone out. Okay. Horrible mistake that just freaked me out. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Also, in regards to a lot of people too are telling me that social media sometimes becomes overwhelming for them to show up and check it and make sure just to check the Facebook pages. So no matter what, if Facebook is too much for you sometimes, or the notifications are, pick one. Whether you choose Team Act or you choose Telegram, I want you to pick one for your sake so that you have ways to plug in, you know what's going on, and you feel connected in your business. And I am going to be very, very intentional on making sure that the playbacks that I put in Facebook, like this streaming through Facebook right now, I will also make sure to download it and put it in the Telegram group, because there are more people now that are just using Telegram and they're not on Facebook anymore. Okay. So just know that that's there, and know that for your new people as well. Also, I connected with a lot of people last week that have been disconnected for a while, and talked to them about the road to Pro 4, the run to Pro 4. And we've been kind of mapping things out and just seeing if they're ready to come back in. And there are people that are ready to go again. And in saying that, one really important thing I want you to remember, because I think some people, when they haven't plugged in for a while, or they've been out of it for a while and they want to come back in, they think, where do I start? I want you to just really make sure you trust the system. When you feel overwhelmed and you're wondering if you're really going to be a good leader, and how would you bring someone new on, and how would you really get them started, trust the system that is already in place, and that is ITT. Because when we look at ITT, right, it has the basics of their upline phone numbers. You put in what they need for the week as far as when they can plug in Monday through Friday. You have page 2, which is about their why and how much income they want to make. And that's something you can do at the moment, or they can think about. But then we get to the nuts and bolts, and it's how they invite, and how they follow, and how they connect people to a team member, and how they follow up. That's the system. That is what LifeVantage is. Without us building relationships, without us connecting to people, without us continually reaching out and asking people if they're open, your business will not move forward. It's just like we just heard, there's action versus activity. And we can be doing activity all day long, listening to the podcasts and listening to playbacks and checking Facebook and posting. But if we are not in action talking to people, you will not move forward. Now, there are some people that can come right back in, and they've been building this list and talking to people for a long time, not even realizing they've got this whole new list to start with. And then there are some people that are ready to go, but it doesn't mean their business will take off necessarily right away, because they haven't been connecting to people. And they've got to start with a brand new list. And that takes time. It's like a 90-day cycle where you're building trust. You're making new relationships. You're hearing their story. They're hearing your story. And then you're asking if they're open. And then if they're open, you're connecting them to a tool and getting them in a third-party chat. I just had a gal tonight, and she said to me, Tanya, one of my friends watched the Biohack and Activate video, and she's interested in more information. What do I do next? And I said, get her in a chat with me. And that's it. And I said, Facebook Messenger, if that works, or text, if that works. And I'm like, I would prefer to be in a chat with her where she can hear my voice and we can talk that way. And then that's what she did. And that's all it should be. You do not have to know more than anybody. All you need to know is their story, ask them if they're open, connect them to a tool, and get me on the phone. And even let's say you've got somebody that you're really overwhelmed with, but you really believe in their ability to see this information, connect them to me right away. Ask them if they're open. And if they are, say, okay, I want to connect you to my teammate, my business partner, Tanya. And then from there, I can share my story, get to know them more, and see if they're open to seeing the tool. And then I'll send them the tool with you involved, right? And then after they've seen the tool, then we talk to them together. It's just like Amy's taking her team through that process. That's how she got to Pro 7. She many times was a part of the conversation before people even saw the tool. She just came in, someone with posture, someone that's been in longer, someone that has the experience and the knowledge, and took over the conversation sooner rather than later and walked them through the process. And people are actually learning from listening and watching her do the actions. Does that make sense? So trust that, you guys, really trust that. Okay, I'm checking my notes here real quick. Okay, that's about all I had. The one last thing, and I don't know where I heard this, if it was a podcast, Activation Nation, or something else, but they basically said during this time, where we're at with LifeVantage and with what we're doing, this was their quote: if you don't do well during this time, it means you probably weren't working. So all that to say, if you are struggling with next steps, if you feel frozen, if you feel like you don't have what it takes, or if you feel like you don't have a list, will you please reach out to me? I don't want you sitting in your home or just sitting back in the corner, going through your head and feeling like a failure because you don't know the next steps, because you're not. Anyone can do this, right? So I want you to reach out. I want to be able to work together through this. Rock the rhythm. I'm not sure. That's a great question, Dan. I'll ask tomorrow. I'll ask the leadership line and see what they say. Okay. Let me check here. The health inventory checklist. What was that? Cindy, why do you need that? I'm curious because I'm working on something too.
So I'll just say real quick, I printed that out when I had my open house, and I had a lot of people, it created a lot of conversations because there was a lot more on it. I have another simple one that just was real brief that I did at the booth, so that I had their contact information and any health concerns basically was all it said, but I couldn't find it right away. But anyhow, I did do that, and I had a lot that I could have contacted.
That's a good idea though, because that's a conversation starter. When they look at that and they're like, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, it is. And then just taking that next step, right? Now we know that next step, put your name down. I'll get you information. Yeah.
And I did the drawing. I think Jen said that I did a drawing, and that, people had no hesitation if they're putting in for that they might win something. They had no problem putting their name in and their contact. So
yeah, I love it. I love it. And the other thing too, I just want to say real quick, sometimes we hear people say, and I know not everybody has the time to sit down with somebody one-on-one, but I want you to do what works for you. Like for me, when I get to sit down with somebody one-on-one, that works for me because I get to hear their story. I'm a curious person. They get to hear my story, and there's just a trust that happens. So even if you might hear people saying that takes too long, or I don't know, you hear people kind of negating that sometimes, I want you to do what works for you. I don't want you to feel forced to go against the grain of something that feels organic for you and that is helping you move forward and make those relationships that you want to make. But if you are building on social media, again, at the same time, stick to those activities of the DMO, you guys. And those activities of the DMO of just like reaching out to new people, commenting and loving on people, happy birthdays, they go a really long way for people taking a look at what you're doing, and or you seeing what they're doing, or bringing up a name that maybe you didn't think of before. It goes a really long way. So make that a part of your consistency as you move forward doing the DMO, because those little habits are what will continue to grow your list to get you where you want to go in the process of all this. Okay. Jen and I met with someone who has a similar story as Jen, and she appreciated Jen sharing. Yep. Third party is always the way to go. And again, third party, it's not third party, they're hearing someone else's story, right? Change the script on that if you need to. And then the last thing, and then I'm done. One thing I really want to work on, and tell me if you feel this would help you. When someone orders and you have a new customer, I really would like us to get better at our onboarding system for customers. So like in the past, there was a copy and paste email that you could send to them right away that would include the health inventory checklist and would thank them. You plug in their customer ID number, you send them their friends and family link. I would love to have that to where we build like a generic one that kind of covers the gamut of all products. And then I have one that's for hair care as well. So, all right, well, okay, good. I just think that's really, really important. I don't want our customers to get lost in the shuffle. I right now have been in the process today of doing cards for my customers, just a holiday card. And it says gratitude on the card and just telling them that I am super grateful for their customer loyalty and being able to serve them, and then just wishing them a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas. We want our customers to be raving fans, you guys. It's very important we take the time to take care of them because they become your warmest market. And they're the ones that may possibly become, your team members later. So even if that means for tomorrow night, for mine and Laura's Zoom, if you have some customers or old customers that maybe haven't heard about collagen yet, have them tune in. Again, Laura does a phenomenal job talking about the products. I just love it when she does that. And then I'll round it out with the business. So, okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Vicki?
So those cards you're sending, are you just going through your entire customer list, sending them to everybody?
Any active customer. Yes, I'm sending them to them.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's end in prayer, you guys, and we'll call it a night. Okay. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for these amazing people that are here tonight with us and just for the gift of LifeVantage. And Lord, I just simply ask that in this next month and a half that's rounding out this year of 2022, help us to be bolder than ever, help us to love more than ever, and help us to serve more than ever. And just help us to have wide open eyes and open ears so that we do not miss any single opportunity that you place in our lap. In your name we pray, amen. Very short prayer. You impressed? Usually I go on and on. All right, everybody. Love you so much. Thanks for being here. And one more thing too, if you have had people along the way in your LifeVantage journey that have really resonated with you and you think are just phenomenal in LifeVantage, will you just send me their name? Because I would like to get, I just think it's time for some other guests as well. And I'd love to get some speakers here in front of you, but I'd love to get speakers that you would love to hear from. So I'm not afraid to reach out to anybody. So let me know who you'd like to hear from and I'll try to get them on here. Okay. Okay. Have a great week. I'm so proud of you. Bye.